And of course, we're in the company of Anne Wangeshi as our sign language interpreter. Welcome to the news. Well, controversial bills seeking to decriminalize corruption and limit the right to demonstrate, sponsored by Public Service Cabinet Secretary nominee Geoffrey Ruku, dominated the vetting process of the first-time Member of Parliament. Ruku told the National Assembly Committee on Appointment that he intended to reduce the cost incurred through investigations of corruption cases by having some aspects of procurement offences dealt with administratively. The committee, chaired by Speaker Moses Wetangula, also interviewed the Cabinet Secretary nominee on interventions to deal with the rising cases of gender-based violence if appointed. Give us on Minor has the details.
Now, having served with you the last 2 years in Parliament, in the National Assembly in particular, you came out to me as somebody who was a bit hawkish in terms of when differences occur on the floor of the House. You looked a bit protective of the side that you represented. And you know, as a Cabinet Secretary, you'll be serving the whole country.
Before, I have been serving and preserving the interests, first and foremost, the interests of the people who elected me, the people of Beira North. But in my capacity as Cabinet Secretary, I will serve the entire nation without favor and without fear.
Honorable Ruku, the picture which has been painted in the public is that you are actually fighting against transparency and accountability, and therefore you are a promoter of corruption. Because one, it's not only that anti-corruption bill that you wanted to amend, you also wanted to amend public demonstration. You also wanted to amend the data protection. All that puts you, and in fact we're also mirroring you with the position you're going, which is for public service. It puts you that you're actually promoting corruption.
The question which I ask myself, Honorable Chairman, is that we lose money through the corrupt activities or corrupt individuals. At the same time, we end up losing even more money through the process of investigations and prosecution. Investigation and prosecution which can take even 10 years. So that's why I was seeking the amendment of this section of the Act.
Were you driven by the desire to weaken the war against corruption? That is the question.
Not at all, Honorable Chairman. I was driven by the desire to make fight against corruption efficient, effective, and time-bound.
Are you, if you find favor with this community, going to do to uplift the status of our local artists, especially musicians?
Arts is a very important aspect of life. The proposal that I have is to ensure that they are remunerated for the work that they are doing. The other proposal that I have is to engage the county governments, because most of the performances are done at the Kenya National Theatre, but we need to ensure that we have cultural days almost frequently in the counties.
Well, Mary Karen Chesang, a former Jubilee Party Deputy Chief Executive Officer, has vowed to remain apolitical if appointed a Commissioner of Kenya's Electoral Agency. Chesang, who previously served as an independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission selection panelist, was on Monday queried on her ability to look beyond her political ties and deliver credible elections. Give us on Minor now reports on the ongoing hunt for the next IEBC commissioners.
Mary Karen Chesang, a lawyer and member of the 2017 IEBC selection panel that recruited former chairman Wafula Chebukati and other IEBC commissioners, was the first candidate to appear before the Nelson Makanda selection panel on Monday. Chesang was at pains to explain how she'd maintain neutrality and impartiality when arbitrating matters affiliated to Jubilee Party members or its allies, considering her past ties.
For record, I'm not a member of Jubilee Party.
No, but you have been a staff of Jubilee
I have
Party.
Been
yes,
that I'm saying for record. Yeah. I have not been a member. I'm not a member of Jubilee Party of Kenya. I was. Each and every person Almost everyone, at one point or another, you've been a member of a political party. So my interests, I'll just serve them as a member of the commissioner, discharge my duties independently.
Mary Mburu, a former USAID worker, was second in the line. She was required to explain how she deals with pressure or coercion from the political class or influential persons to bend the law in their favor.
You stay true to your ethics, the ethical consideration you put in coming to IEBC. That ethical consideration should be the guidelines, should be the baseline, which you build all your other actions. Number two, you've got to consult with your peers. You are not in the commission alone. Why should we take this position, and what is the impact on the Republic of Kenya?
That in line was Melissa Ngania, a Hustler Fund board member and a lawyer who came to the limelight after representing retired President Uhuru Kenyatta in the 2017 presidential petition at the Supreme Court, and also William Ruto in the 2022 presidential petition. Her relation with the duo is coming into sharp scrutiny.
I've never had any personal relationship with him. I don't even know whether he remembers that I was part of that team. You know, when you finish your client's case, they'll walk and go. So for me, at a personal level, there's no nexus that would make me conflicted.
Mohammed Abdullahi, a master's student in finance at the Universities of Massachusetts in the United States, was tasked to state how he'd resolve procurement issues at the IEBC.
From what I have been working, single sourcing is the worst thing you can ever do, because single sourcing can give people leeway to do what they want.
Others who face the Makanda panel are Mohammed Dagane and Mohammed Mahat. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition.
Elsewhere, county governments are now set to conduct a headcount of all universal healthcare coverage workers to enhance accountability as the national government moves to settle a long-time push for the absorption of UHC staff. This is one of the resolutions reached during a consultative meeting between the county bosses and the Ministry of Health. The national government is expected to transfer to the devolved unit funds according to the salary scale approved by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Efforts to cure the emerging issues bedeviling the new health scheme, the Social Health Authority, intensify in a move to ensure the national government delivers affordable health care to all. A consultative meeting between the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors resolved on a number of measures to address the gaps.
The Digital Health Agency shall expedite the distribution of all devices to the remaining public health facilities in counties in support of digitization.
I want to confirm to the nation we have paid all facilities who posted their claim regularly and legally. We will weed out corruption.
Absorption of universal health coverage staff and payment of community health promoters was part of the way forward.
That the counties undertake a head count of the universal health coverage workers, UHC workers, to enhance accountability.
What we need is for the ministry to release this staff to the counties, but not only release the staff, they also need to ensure that they provide the requisite funds or resources to make sure that these staff can be paid or remunerated at the rate that their colleagues are being remunerated at.
Also in the resolutions was fixing electricity and internet connectivity challenges and boosting funds for emergency and chronic care.
Our challenge with the Ministry of Health has not been agreeing with them or reaching agreements. Our challenge has been honoring those agreements, implementing them, following them through. And now we have assurance.
The Taifa Care rollout is in progress. We have done 6 counties so far. Beginning 20th of this month, we are going to do another 13 counties where we will distribute gadgets.
Currently, over 21 million Kenyans have registered in the new scheme.
Those 21,000 can access free any of our primary health centers or facilities, be they public, be they private, and be they faith-based facilities.
The issue of prescription drugs that have been abused, but we said we will have a technical team at the ministry working together with our COG to come up with policies to protect our kids from the misuse of prescription drugs, the codeine and the like.
As reforms take shape, Kenyans are hopeful that these efforts will translate into reliable, quality and accessible healthcare for all. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
3 people have died while several others are nursing serious injuries following a grisly road accident involving 14-seater matatu and a scanter that crashed head-on along the Nairobi-Nakuru highway. While confirming the incident, Limuru Sub-County Police Commander Mary Gashi urged motorists to exercise caution while using the road and adhere to traffic rules. Those who witnessed the accident attributed to speeding by the drivers and called for the erection of speed bumps in the area, which has now been identified as a black spot, having claimed 5 other lives on Thursday last week.
The users of our roads to prioritize safety and also to observe speed limits, as well as paying attention to the roads they are using.
Tukiwekwa tu bump kidogo kidogo hivi itakuwa ni afadhali, kwa maana hapa vitu vinaongwa sana, buzi nini, watu wamekuwa wengi hapa. Kwa hivyo si ajali ya kwanza kutokea hapa. Hata yuna gari imewekwa hapa sio kitu kingine, ni ilani ya mtu asikimbie.
President William Ruto has lauded the vital role that religious leaders play in shaping society, underscoring their significant contribution to maintaining moral integrity. He stressed that the country's progress relies on the combined efforts of all leadership sectors, including both political and religious figures. The president also recognized the religious community's active participation in education and healthcare, highlighting their unwavering commitment to the national well-being and the advancement. He made the remarks during a meeting with religious leaders from Kiambaa, Kabete and Thika in Kiambu County, which took place at State House in Nairobi today.
We have a great nation. Let us not bring it down with rumors, negative energy, vitu ambayo haisaidii. Our intentions are good and we want to do what is right for our nation.
The government has expressed regrets over an incident where Butere Girls High School failed to showcase their play at the National Drama Festivals in Nakuru County. The government spokesperson, Dr. Isaac Mwaura, while addressing the media, however, cautioned politicians against using school children in advancing their political agendas.
Controversies surrounding echoes of war have drawn both public and government concerns after it made headlines at the National Drama and Film Festivals in Nakuru. The government says it regrets the incident and investigations are underway.
It's regrettable, of course, that our police used tear gas against the journalists and also the children. That is regrettable. And as a government, we want to say that is not acceptable and action shall be taken accordingly. However, it is important to set the record straight that matter has been highly politicized, and of course every other Tom, Dick and Harry, they have jumped in order to mince political mileage out of it. It's unfortunate, and we will not tolerate as a government going forward such behavior. The rules must be followed. Teachers must ensure that they have the right people who train their children.
Meanwhile, the government has cautioned Kenyans against misinformation about amendments to the Finance Act.
The government unequivocally states that there is no Finance Bill 2025 tabled anywhere yet, and such outrageous claims should be shunned. And we are calling upon the members of the press to help us so that we do not spread propaganda. Accordingly, Kenyans will have the opportunity to interrogate any revenue-raising measure through a thorough public participation only after the draft budget and finance bill have been released by the National Treasury.
Mwaura highlighted what he termed as the successful registration of over 19 million Kenyans under the new healthcare system. The government has also deployed 3 mobile laboratories to the northeastern region to combat the spread of Kala-Azar, a vector-borne disease affecting the area.
A satellite blood bank equipped with a new blood analysis machine has been established to support critical care, significantly improving patient outcomes. And because of these efforts, therefore, recoveries now surpass new infections.
The government has also cautioned high school principals against withholding academic certificates of students with fee arrears. Martini Maslin for Prime Edition.
Well, new fuel prices are coming in force today at midnight. And we'll have more details in regard to that. Stay right here. This is the Prime Edition.
Inuka na loto moto sasa kwa star 570 hash option ya 4 kuna kashamba juja na nika 50 by 100 worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings. Na hii si shamba tu, iko kwa prime location few minutes from Juja Town. Stima yako iko ndani na kama ni development rapid and so promising. Na mambo ya landlord mwisho wa mwanzo ni hapa. Ukishinda hili shamba tunakuongeza 1 million Kenyan shillings ujijengee nyumba yako kwa shamba yako. Kuinuka na loto moto ni kucheza sasa hivi kupitia star 570 hash option ya 4 au register deposit na ucheze sasa hivi kwa www.tushinde.com na ujishindie shamba hili na addition of 1 million Kenyan shillings. Inuka na loto moto.
Are you ready for tonight?
I am so ready.
What's your number? Oh, I'm adventurous. But before that, Leviticus.
The point is, we felt good. You feel good listening to that song. There are a lot of songs like that. So I feel like the feel is the most important thing.
Steady so I know the rest.
Showcase Wednesday is a recurring cultural event hosted by the Alliance Francaise Nairobi. Popular personalized name campaign, which has resonated strongly with Gen Z, offers a fresh way to celebrate friendships and create lasting memories. Color Festival brings together people from all walks of life for one day of dancing, feasting, laughing, and most importantly, getting drenched in color.
What you gotta do?
Get ready for the Shift Season 2. We're shifting from the studio to the grassroots, where policy meets reality. Your views meet government's voice.
This is not just about principal secretaries or any senior member of government. It is about you.
From agriculture to infrastructure, health to housing, MSMEs to the digital superhighway, a creative economy and beyond.
Get exclusive updates as Principal Secretary share first-hand insights on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda rollout.
As we shift in transforming Kenya, we also shift from the studio to come to the field to check on what is going on, combine what we say with practically what is happening on the ground. Don't miss the program.
Every Tuesday on The Shift.
The Shift, Tuesday at 9 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
You're watching the Prime Edition. Welcome back. Scholars in Kiswahili are challenging the African leaders to market their language, which they tout as the only avenue that can unite the continent to safeguard its identity. Speakers at the Kiswahili International Conference taking place in Kampala, Uganda, opined that the effect of neo-colonialism can be broken if the continent can adopt a single language for its daily transactions.
Kololo Independent Grounds in Kampala, Uganda, brought together the finest in Kiswahili as scholars try to rally the continent to adopt the language whose roots can be traced to Zanzibar a century ago.
Sisi wa Afrika lazima tujinasue kutoka kwa minyororo ya ukoloni mamboleo ya kudhani ya kwamba ukijieleza kwa ufasaha kwa lugha ya Kiingereza, Kireno au Kifaransa basi wewe si bwege tena. La hash.
Lugha ya Kiswahili iweze kutambuliwa kama lingua franca ya kusini mwa jangwa la Sahara.
Those who addressed the congregation terming as illusion attempts by the East African community to enter into an integration without a single unifying language.
Tukishirikiana na kujifunza lugha ya Kiswahili, tukapatana na tamaduni zetu zote, tutakuza Kiswahili hiki kwa sababu tutaheshimu tamaduni za labda wa Kenya, wa Tanzania na Waganda.
Their fingers pointing at tribal chiefs who hold on their native languages for survival, warning such moves are futile in the current globalized world.
Wanaozungumza Lugwere, wanaozungumza Luluya, tafuteni wazungumzaji wa Luya wazuri, andikeni vitabu vya Kiswahili kwa kutumia Kiluya. Wakifanya hivyo, mnainua lugha ya Kiluya na mnajenga lugha ya Kiswahili kama lugha moja. Let it be a language of African union. I hear that people say when we have duplication of languages, there will be confusion, there will be linguistic confusion. No, it will enhance the efflorescence of African culture and language.
The Kiswahili scholars calling for collaborations of mainly Swahili writers from across the continent to team up and help enrich the language they termed progressive and whose future is shining bright. To help grow the language, scholars too have been challenged to put in place succession plans and build a generation of young writers who will turn ambassadors of the language.
The International Kiswahili Conference has set the pace for actions that countries need to undertake in order to ensure proper use of the language, especially as a unifying factor. Nancy Okware reporting from Kololo Grounds in Kampala, Uganda.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has told of critics who are doubting President William Ruto's re-election chances. Speaking at the memorial service of the late former Minister John Koech at AGC Karen, Nairobi County, Murkomen likened the current political and economic situation to that of 2005 when President Mwai Kibaki lost the referendum and dissolved his cabinet, but still won the 2007 general elections.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen was at AGC Karen to attend the memorial service of former Chapalungu Member of Parliament, who also served as a cabinet minister in the late President Mwai Kibaki's government. He took the opportunity to tell of critics doubting the re-election of President William Ruto, saying he will be the most transformative president.
I am confident that the future of this country is in safe hands and success is ahead for us, and President Ruto will be re-elected and he will be celebrated like Kibaki in future. That is the most transformative president that ever country have.
The CS rallied support for the broad-based government, likening the current political and economic situation to that of 2005 when the then President Mwai Kibaki lost the referendum and dissolved his cabinet.
Because at that point in time, it looked like Kibaki is finished, completely finished. Many people never wanted to serve in that cabinet. So once he had bundled out ODM, which was at that point being formed, but it was LDP and a few other people who had come in, Kibaki needed people to stabilize the country. So he needed a broad-based government.
Koech died on 8th of this month, age 79, while receiving treatment in Nairobi Hospital. Tilio Marco for Prime Edition.
to the corridors of justice, where a businessman has found himself on the wrong side of the law after being charged with defrauding an investor of 12 million shillings in a questionable land transaction. The accused, Abdi Yusuf Mohammed, is said to have posed as a legitimate land dealer and promised to sell land located in Garissa County. But instead of completing the transaction, he allegedly pocketed the money and vanished, leaving the investor high and dry. Our court reporter, Letua Deborah, has more details.
Abdi Yusuf Mohammed, a businessman of Somali origin, appeared before Senior Principal Magistrate Benmaki Kubi and denied defrauding Sadho Umalkar Aden of 12 million shillings. He allegedly received the money in June 2023 under the pretense of selling Aden the land in Garissa County.
You may be released on a bond of Kenya shillings 5 million with a surety of a similar amount. That relates to a title or a logbook of an equivalent amount of that 5 million. And then alternatively, a cash bill of 1,500,000. And then you'll avail 2 contact persons, and also you'll deposit your passport in court as a condition for your release, those bond and bail terms. So we mentioned your matter on the 29th of April.
In a separate case, the Director of Criminal Investigation has been granted 7 more days to detain Joseph Momanyi, a suspect of 49 million shilling fraud probe involving alleged computer misuse and money laundering. He allegedly accessed Jambo Pay client portal and illegally transferred the funds. He's being held at Mudaiga Police Station until April 22nd. Elsewhere, 8 suspects, among them 2 Ministry of Lands officials, will remain in custody for 4 more days of a major title deed forgery racket. The DCI recovered fake stamps and seals from government offices, including the Judiciary. They were each given 50,000 shilling cash bail if not charged by April 17th, ahead of the mentioning on May 10th.
Each of the suspects is sternly warned not to interfere with the investigations. Otherwise, under Article 60, sub-article number 3 of the Rome Statute, the investigators shall be at liberty to apply for review of the bond terms, including but not limited to increasing the terms and also to cancel the bond terms.
In Kiambu County, May 3rd has been set as the date for consolidating 2 cases involving a land surveyor and 6 local residents over arson at the National County Constituency Development Fund office and damage of the DCC's office. A surveyor, Kigade Kionywe, is charged with arson, while 6 others face theft and damage charges. The defense lawyers Arnold Otieno and Joel Kimani Karaoke opposed consolidation, arguing that the charges differ, but the prosecutor Arnold Baraka insisted the witnesses are the same.
Of the charge sheets, Your Honor, in this matter, it is very evident that the witnesses are the same across the 3 matters, Your Honor. That is in criminal case number 1832 of 2024 and 1723 of 2024. So it beats logic why we should call witnesses over and over again when they are coming to testify on the same issues before court.
And in Mavoko, businessman Bruno Oguda Obotha, who's appointed as the CEO of East Africa Portland Cement Company, ran into controversy, was today charged with fraud. He appeared before Senior Principal Magistrate Derry Kuto, facing 6 counts of forging documents with the intent to commit fraud on diverse dates in 2024. He was accused of forging security firm documents with intentions to defraud the cement company. His advocates pleaded with the court for a lenient cash bail, but the magistrate argued that the gravity of counts compelled him to release the accused on 5 million bond and a surety of the same amount, or a cash bail of 2 million shillings with 1 reliable contact person. Letua Deborah for Prime Edition.
In December 2017, the Ministry of Health made a pronouncement that banned the importation, manufacture, advertising and sale of shisha in Kenya. The then Cabinet Secretary for Health, Dr. Cleophas Mailu, argument was that shisha had encouraged peddling of hard drugs, making Kenya the 4th country in East Africa to impose the ban. Dr. Mailu was appointed Minister of in December 2015 to replace James Macharia, who had been redeployed to the transport docket in a reshuffle. He graces this week's edition of the Cabinet.
Born in 1956, Cleopa Kilonzo Mailu graduated from the University of Nairobi and earned a master's degree in medical genetics from the University of Glasgow in Scotland. He started his career as an intern at the Kenyatta National Hospital and was the founding director of its Department of Medical Genetics in 1989. Mailu had also worked in several high-level jobs both at home and internationally. Just before his appointment to cabinet, he had worked for the Nairobi Hospital for 12 years, and his last posting being the hospital CEO. President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed Mailu the Health Cabinet Secretary in December 2015, taking over from James Macharia, who had just been transferred to the Transport Ministry. During Dr. Mailu's tenure at Afya House, the ministry onboarded the Linda Mama program to the National Health Insurance Fund in July of 2016. He also oversaw the launch of the e-portal health services in April 2017 after the Ministry of Health established an electronic portal to improve processing of import and export health certificates. Dr. Mailu also led an intensified campaign to accelerate access to adequate sanitation and hygiene facilities with a view to end open defecation in Kenya ODF by 2020. It was during his stint as Health CS that a team of doctors drawn from the University of Nairobi and the Kenyatta National Hospital in November 2016 conducted the first successful operation of conjoined twins in Kenya who were born joined at the lower spinal cord. Dr. Mailu had his share of controversy as the health minister. In 2016, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission investigated the CS over alleged misappropriation of funds through diversion of funds, double payments of goods and services, and manipulation of the Integrated Financial Management System (IFMIS), but no charges were preferred on him. In 2017, Dr. Mailu was criticized for failing to avert a doctor's strike that lasted 100 days. After the 2017 general election, Dr. Mailu handed over the docket to Cicely Kariuki. Dr. Mailu was appointed as permanent representative of Kenya to the United Nations office in Geneva, UNOG. For the cabinet, I'm Ben Troyenjua.
Jet A1, cheza avieta bila data bila credo. Dial *892# for instant takeoff. Pepea bila pressure kucrash au kucash out. Avieta bila data, avieta bila credo. Uko na kabambe, wewe pia ni rubani mnoma. Dial *892#. Jet A1, michezobet.com. Cheza kwa kuwajibika. Kushiriki ni miaka 18 au zaidi. BCLB license number 0000664.
It starts with little moments of courage. To stepping out into the new world with confidence. Taking leaps of faith. Spreading your wings and soaring to new heights. Your mother's love is with you wherever you go. Stay soft. Nothing lasts like mom's love.
Welcome back. We take a look at the day's business in. My name is Wairumbo Jenga, standing in for Betty Kiptum, who is in Morocco. Now we kick off with fuel prices. As you know very well, today is the 14th of April, and you will pay less for fuel over the next month following a decision by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to lower pump prices. As from midnight, Super Petrol will reduce by 1 shillings and 95 cents per litre diesel by 2 shillings and 20 cents per litre, and kerosene has reduced by 2 shillings and 40 cents per litre. The cost of fuel would have been higher if the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority did not tap the Price Stabilization Fund. You will pay less for fuel as from Tuesday, thanks to reduced landed cost of petroleum products and a decision by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to tap the Fuel Stabilization Fund to cushion consumers from higher pump prices. A statement by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority indicates that the landed cost of super petrol decreased by 4.89%, diesel by 6.45%, while kerosene was lower by 6.53%. In addition, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority tapped the Fuel Stabilization Kitty to reduce the pump price of super petrol by 4 shillings and 66 cents per litre, diesel by 6 shillings and 9 cents, while kerosene was lowered by 6 shillings and 18 cents per litre. The overall effect is a pump price reduction effective from midnight. Fuel is cheapest in Mombasa, where a litre of super petrol will retail at 171 shillings and 39 cents, diesel at 161 shillings and 62 cents, and kerosene 145 shillings and 75 cents. Fuel is most expensive in Mandera, where a litre of super petrol is priced at 188 shillings and 64 cents, diesel at 178 shillings and 87 cents, while kerosene will cost 162 shillings and 99 cents. The government has dismissed claims that Russia donated fertilizer, highlighting that Kenya received components and are not ready for use fertilizer. Agriculture Principal Secretary Dr. Paul Rono says despite the donation of the fertilizer component, Kenya had to incur additional cost of blending and purchasing additional fertilizer components whose cost was passed on to the farmers.
The government says the 34,000 tons of chemical donations from Russia was not finished fertilizer but fertilizer making components.
We got the components of manufacturing of fertilizers from Russia are close to 34 metric tons in 2023. When we got those border from Russia, they were in border form for manufacturing of fertilizers, because fertilizers have got different components, so this one came in border form.
Agriculture Principal Secretary Dr. Paul Rono says farmers were billed for the subsidy fertilizer despite the donation to offset cost on blending and purchase of additional fertilizer components.
For anybody to say we got free fertilizers donated and we sold, as a Ministry of Agriculture, we want to say that is the fact. We didn't get fertilizer first of all. It was a component for making fertilizer. That is a fact. And if we are again to be given the same border or substances for making fertilizer, we will still repeat the same.
Dr. Rono says fertilizer blending farms were sourced competitively.
We look for a farm through competitive bidding to do granulation and manufacture fertilizers for our farmers.
He made the remarks during a briefing on Kenya's National Food System Stock-Taking Moment 2-day summit that kicks off in Nairobi on Tuesday. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Financial services players should step up to use technology to empower customers in order to build cybersecurity resilience. Speaking at a tech exhibition, GTEx Africa in Marrakech, Morocco, M-Pesa head of cybersecurity Tim Deuri said many firms focus and invest in securing the core technology, yet most of the cyber threats are at the point of customers' interaction with tech systems. Here is Betty Kiptum with the details from Marrakech.
The National Kenya Computer Incident Response Team Coordination Center detected over 840 million cyber threat events between October to December last year, marking a 27.82% increase from the previous quarter. Kenya's financial services space largely operates on mobile money, with a majority of customers relying on mobile banking. Players in this space say to stay ahead of cyber criminals, companies ought to step up awareness and empower customers to protect their data as they interact with their systems.
It's actually more lucrative for the hacker to actually target that customer and steal $1, $2, $3 from the customer, then target the core system, which is heavily defended. Because of that, what we realized is that the only way to be able to protect our customers is to empower them.
Theory says the trick is to view cybersecurity as a business enabler, incorporating it in operations right from the innovation stage.
Cybersecurity was always viewed as a stopper, but I think now, as a cybersecurity industry, we pivoted so that we can now partner with business, so that whenever there are new innovative technologies, cybersecurity comes in at that initial concept stage, just to ensure that from a design perspective to an implementation, wherever product we are implementing, it is 100% secure without any vulnerabilities. Then after that, continuing to monitor just to ensure that security still remains a topmost priority and is maintained fully.
As technology continues to evolve, more humans are interacting with it, and systems are only as strong as the people that are using them. Companies have been urged to invest more in ensuring that consumers are aware of their cybersecurity needs and protecting their data as well as their money at point of use. Reporting from Marrakesh in Morocco, my name is Betty Kiptum.
Hiring of key farming equipment is taking root among smallholder farmers who would have otherwise not afford the machinery. Our reporter Alan Oko, who is in Embu, interacted with smallholder farmers who are leveraging hiring to mechanize their farming activities and files the following reports.
Farmers like Stephen Mutua say high upfront costs are a major component in their farming practice. Here in Gashireri village, Embu County, Mutua taps water from a nearby river for irrigation. Investing in the irrigation system could cost as much as 1 million shillings, an amount that is out of reach to smallholder farmers like Mutua.
Kama saizi nikinunua ile diesel yangu ninunua 1300. Na ile pesa imenikula miaka 2 nimenunua ingine. Lakini hii solar vile nimeona iko, nimejaribu kulima nao sasa nimelima almost kutoka January mpaka sasa. Nimeona iko cheaper kuliko ile diesel yangu.
The increased efficiency will reduce the cost per unit, which so precise will in part transfer to the smallholder farmer, and so the smallholder farmer will pay less per unit area of land.
By renting a solar pump instead of buying one outright, smallholder farmers have more in working capital.
These equipments are very expensive, and because we are small-scale farmers and also the farmers in this community are small-scale, we thought of coming up with an utilization model where we are able to use one equipment shared amongst several farmers.
In the abundance of this field, it is testament that farmers are embracing innovation because of its cost effectiveness. This is also attracting young people into farming as we speak. Alan Oko in Embu County, Prime Edition.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has created a department dedicated to enhancing the simplification of communication with smallholder taxpayers, such as micro, small and medium enterprises. The new department is part of a larger scheme to widen the tax bracket and enhance revenue collection, as Wycliffe Okech reports.
According to the Kenya Revenue Authority, inadequate tax knowledge among Kenyans is partly to blame for optimum tax collections. To address this, KRA has established a new support and trust-building department targeting micro, small and medium-sized enterprises.
There are some taxpayers who don't know that they need to be paying taxes, okay? So, for example, capital gains tax, which is more or less a tax you pay on selling of land property. Most people may not know about it, but then there's an opportunity now to have a targeted focus on these taxpayers.
Ocean says the new department is being decentralized to increase its impact.
Essentially, most of our regional offices, including what you have in Kisumu here, is a micro and small taxpayer office. So you're free to visit anytime, any day, and you'll find the facilitation that we've been calling for a long time.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has also put those involved in smuggling goods from neighboring countries on notice.
Just to encourage everyone, including those at the borders, to comply with the legal regime provided for in getting goods into the country.
For Channel 1 from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Now, stories rather making headlines across the African continent. Nigeria's creative industry is gaining momentum, becoming a key driver of employment and innovation. With over 4 million Nigerians already working in the creative industry, the government is stepping up support through investment in training, infrastructure, and policy reforms. Here's that story and more.
Nigeria is boosting its emerging creative industry, which currently contributes $5.6 billion, with projections of reaching $20 billion by 2027. The creative industry employs over 4 million Nigerians, and that number is expected to double within 3 years. Officials cite Nigeria's large population and market potential as key factors driving increased investment in the sector. Meanwhile, a new survey reveals South Africans are making dire choices in the face of rising costs. A survey by Debt Rescue South African highlights the significant strain on household finances, with rising electricity prices forcing consumers to make difficult trade-offs, such as cutting back on food and transport to afford electricity. The situation is expected to worsen, with the pending 0.5% VAT hike further eroding disposable income and exacerbating the cost of living crisis amidst already high unemployment levels. Finally, in Zambia's capital, Lusaka, power outage can last up to 20 hours, negatively impacting businesses. The power cuts have driven demands for charcoal, causing prices to double within a year and accelerating deforestation, which in turn exacerbates climate change. Zambia is now investing massively in solar energy. For now, solar energy accounts for less than 1% of electricity generation, but a number of projections are underway to increase its share. The 100 megawatts Chisamba solar power plant aims to create over 1,000 megawatts of solar power by the end of 2025, along with 1,300 job opportunities.
Well, that marks the end of business news tonight. My name is Ruku Jenga. Tomorrow is another day. Have a good night.
Kupitia star 570 hash tunakupa nafasi ya kuchomoka na this beautiful Mazda Demio. Enjoy a beautiful clean semi-leather interior, low mileage, fuel-efficient 1300cc engine, great for personal use and business. Ukitaka kujishindia gari hii, kucheza ni rahisi sana. Chukua simu yako, bonyeza star 570 hash, chagua option 3. And for only 35 shillings, hii gari inaweza kuwa yako. Kumbuka kucheza mara kadhaa, because the more you play, the higher chances of wewe kuwa mshindi.
Mungu ni mwema, asante Mungu. Ile nitakuwa naendesha hivi.
Dial star 570 hash and make this dream car yours.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Wellness is important in our daily lives, so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have by regular checkup. People don't know they have hypertension. People don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
Welcome back. My name is Karen Kibet. Let's now talk sports.
The Kasarani Stadium will host test matches in the month of June, 2 months prior to the commencement of the postponed African Nations Championship CHAN. The stadium is expected to host 2 to 3 test matches before being used as one of the venues for CHAN this August, together with the Nyayo National Stadium, both of which were inspected today by Cabinet Secretaries Salim Mvurya and Soipan Tuya.
With the kick-off of the postponed African Nation Championship less than 4 months away, the Kasarani Stadium is almost complete and will host a few test matches before the Continental tournament for home-based players gets underway in August.
From June, we should be seeing more of test matches in this ground, just to make sure that everything is in place. So if we have another match in between, we will not do it in Nyayo, we will do it here, because I think what we have seen in the 2 matches, football is back in our country.
The stadium, together with the Nyayo National Stadium, both of which were inspected today by Cabinet Secretaries Salim Mvurya and Soipan Tuya, will be the venues for CHAN 2024 and the Africa Cup of Nations 2027, events to be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania.
We are ready for CHAN, we are ready for AFCON, and we've made a financial commitment to that effect, and therefore we are moving in that direction. I think right now we also need to be moving in to prepare the teams. You know, we now embark on preparing Harambee Stars because we are in a very good group in CHAN, which we need to take extra measures.
The completion of the venues in Kenya will end a period of uncertainty for Kenyan national teams which have been playing their international matches in neighboring countries.
Our role as the Ministry of Defense is to offer a supervisory role to ensure timeliness in the completion of the projects, to ensure that the projects are up to standard, and of course to ensure that there is value for money that we get out of the projects.
The sports grounds are being built and renovated not only to host the 2 continental football tournaments, but also as a foundation for talents development.
We are investing, we are making sure that we give a facelift to our sports facilities, and for our enthusiasts, the sports enthusiasts, I think we need to be responsible, take part in ensuring that we also take care of these facilities once they are complete.
The tour of Kasarani and Nyayo follows many other tours of other venues across the country this year, including Talanta Stadium on Ngong Road, Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega, Water Stadium in Makueni, and Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay.
Beautiful. Thank you, Buckley, for that report. Now, 2 players, Captain Amos Wanjala and Andreas Odhiambo, are yet to link up with the national under-20 team, the Rising Stars, which is preparing for the Africa Cup of Nations under-20 tournament in Cairo, Egypt. The duo is expected to join the team in Morocco before traveling to Cairo as the team prepares to not only for their drawn opponents, but for the tournament as a whole. Kenya has now been placed in Group B alongside 7-time champions Nigeria, Morocco and Tunisia after the Confederation of African Football annulled the original draw following the withdrawal of hosts Ivory Coast. The tournament kicks off on the 27th of this month, with hosts Egypt taking on South Africa in the opening match. Kenya will begin their campaign against Morocco on the 1st of next month.
As you can see, vile draw imechangiwa. Sisi hatuna hofu yoyote, because hata hizo Morocco bado tunge qualify hizo semi-final quarters, ilikuwa tuende tupatane na hizo Morocco.
The only thing that we need to do, we need to avoid being defeated, right? We really need to win our first match. That's the first priority. We need to win our first match and then do our second match. The third match will plan for itself. So we only need to qualify for let's say the quarters, then we will plan after that. Yeah.
Moving on, defending champions Kenya Police, Kakamega Homeboys, Ulinzi Stars and Murang'a Seal qualified for the quarterfinals of the Mozzart Bet Cup, registering wins in their respective last 16 matches. Police defeated Kapenguria United 2-0 at Machakos Stadium, with Clinton Kinanga and David Simiyu scoring the goals in the 35th and 58th minutes respectively. Kakamega Homeboys secured their quarters place after narrowly edging Shabana FC 1-0 as Bidco United crashed out of the competition after losing 2-0 to Ulinzi Stars. Murang'a Seal made light work of their Division 1 outfit, Kibera Soccer, thrashing them 5-1. The quarterfinals will be played between 1st to 4th May, with the semi-finals being played on 24th and 25th of May. The final will be settled on 14th June, with the winner booking a ticket to represent Kenya in the next season's CAF Confederations Cup.
Wanaingia Shabana, piga!
The Kenya Ports Authority men's volleyball team is determined to go all out in their quest for the title in this year's Men's Africa Volleyball Championship, set to take place in Libya. The 14-day Continental tournament, organized by the Confederation of Africa Volleyball, kicks off this Thursday and will feature 32 elite clubs from across the continent. KPA will fly Kenya's flag alongside fellow representatives General Service Unit GSU and Prisons Kenya. KPA General Manager for Infrastructure and Development, Engineer Matthews Amuti, lauded the team's steady progress and urged the players to maintain professionalism and discipline as they represent the country on the continental stage. In last year's edition, held in Cairo, Egypt, KPA ranked among the top 10 teams. Kenya Volleyball Federation Deputy Treasurer Moses Mbuthia expressed confidence in the team's ability to rise to the occasion and possibly cause an upset in Libya.
Country as a whole is to maintain a lot of team discipline.
In Libya, the tournament will be tough because every team that will be there, they are champions in their own countries. We are also champions in our country.
We are hoping that this time in Libya, we are going to make some improvements compared to the performance of the previous years.
And finally, Kenyatta University were crowned champions of the Talanta Bila Uraibu football tournament held at the University of Nairobi grounds. Kenyatta defeated hosts University of Nairobi main campus 1-0 in the final of the Day 2 tournament that attracted 17 men football teams from Kenya universities. The football tournament was organized by University of Nairobi Sports Department in collaboration with the National Police College Embakasi to educate campus students on the dangers of drug abuse and importance of discipline, teamwork and leadership, in addition to offering the youth a constructive outlet from social evils. The tournament, a first of its kind, was also being used to empower the youth through grassroots football ahead of the second leg to be held in August this year at a venue yet to be decided. University of Nairobi Upper Kabete campus finished third in the tournament.
To bring the best out of yourself, the self-confidence, the good in you, the men that you're supposed to create. It does not just put you in all the right groups. It brings forth and shines the name of the institution that you're running and puts your country in the global calendar. And that is you. When you walk, people will listen. People will want to be associated with you because you have a name. Then why don't you go ahead and take a name for yourself?
And that's it for tonight's KBC Sport. I'll see you tomorrow with more sports news. My name is Karen Kibet. Have yourself a peaceful night. Don't go too far, because right after this short break, O'Brien Kimani will be back with more. Good night.
Well, that's all. I mean, we've taken you to the world of general news, of course, business and friendly sports, and that's what we do best here at KBC Channel 1. O'Brien Kimani is my name. Thank you very much indeed for swinging by. We'll hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, do have yourself a good evening and a good night.